Welcome back to Cinema Corner. I'm Blake, and I'm here with my co-hosts, Alex and Josh.
And we are back with Cinema Tasks Volume 6. Last time, I gave Josh Enemy, Josh gave Blake Fruitvale Station, Blake gave me Twisters. So those are the three movies that we're going to review. Who wants to go first?
Alex, thoughts?
Yep, go
If
ahead,
you
Alex.
feel
I'll
it.
for once.
Chase it. Twisters. I saw Twisters finally. Where to begin? Okay, so it started off really strong. With obviously the deaths of three of their friends, and then it kind of mellowed out. There was really no twisters for a good 10 to 15 minutes, and then she goes back to Oklahoma because she was in New York for 5 years, and then she meets back up with Javi, the only survivor of that friend group, and she joins their crew. And then after that, once you get introduced to the main man himself, Glenn Powell, that's when the movie picks right back up again.
Okay,
Beautiful.
we're good.
Beautiful. I loved it. I don't know, like something about like the trailers didn't really sell me on it, but watching the film,
Now that's facts.
Did the trailer show Glenn Powell?
yeah.
All
But
right,
like
then what are we talking about?
it didn't do its service. It did not do its service because the movie is just leaps and bounds better than what the trailer made it out to be. It was a hell of a good time. I mean, I had the fucking bitch blasting in here, the tornadoes, the sound design, everything. I mean, at one point there was a fucking flame tornado that gave me PTSD. You know, if anyone's played Marvel Rivals, you got Storm and fucking Johnny Storm. That was a horror show, but yeah, it was a good time. I mean, obviously, like the main character Kate, she was fantastic. Glenn Powell's character, he was amazing. Obviously Javi, he was in it, and then there was a point where it just became like the Tyler and Kate show for a hot minute. I mean, she obviously ditched him. She went back home, and then Tyler met her there. And you finally learned that Tyler is more than just what he presents himself to begin with. He was just not this YouTuber that chases tornadoes. He actually knows his shit. And yeah, I kind of like that dynamic. I just like the chemistry between the two main leads. I think Javi would probably be more of like a supporting role. Ultimately, I would say he would be at the beginning, probably third of the movie. He was more of like that main, and then once she obviously ditches him, he's kind of thrown into like the back burner for the rest of the film until the very end when he finally comes back, pulls through. Did not know I was going to see like the new Superman in the movie. That was a cool thing. He was playing kind of a douchebag. Played that perfectly. Now he's going to take on a whole different role. So we'll see how that goes. I mean, there's not a lot of bad that I can really say. Like I said, there was like a little bit of downtime there when she goes to New York in that 5 year jump. But once she comes back to Oklahoma and she starts to chase all of the tornadoes, I actually really liked how it showed that she was a lot more intelligent than everyone else there, and it did it in, I think, a very unique way with her knowing like the wind patterns, and yeah, I just liked the whole movie. There was not a lot of bad. I think maybe if I had to nitpick like the last big tornado, I would say it's like there wasn't a lot of deaths really. I felt like the tornado at the beginning with them killing like the three friends immediately kind of set the tone, and then after that there wasn't a lot, at least not like of main characters. We saw a bunch of like I don't know, extras getting sucked into a tornado, and a bunch of like debris, a bunch of buildings falling down. At one point, I thought Glenn Powell might get got there when he gets stuck, but no, Javi comes in, helps them. But yeah, I mean, that's really my only nitpick. Is that at the very end of the film, that I felt like that tornado needed to at least cause some damage to, I don't know, maybe someone in Tyler's group. You know, I feel like one or two of them should have been got, and then I felt like the stakes would have been raised significantly in that final sequence. But Overall, it was a fun film. I mean, I gotta say, really good film. I don't know how long it's been since it's been out of theaters, but I think I was pushing that like
July.
Top Gun Maverick kind of timeline where I did not see it for the longest until, of course, Blake assigned it to me. So
That's what I do, bro.
yeah,
I drop bangers. By that I mean Glenn Powell's in it. It's a banger.
I mean, listen, or everyone's talking about that one scene where he walks out of the house and that white T-shirt, and to be honest, they needed to crank up the rain, brother. All right, rating of Twisters, I gave it a 8.3 out of 10.
Wow,
Yeah,
it's high.
yeah, 8.3. Fun time.
It really is. It's just a fun summer movie. It's not anything, crazy special. It's a good time for a fun little summer movie about a summer blockbuster.
See, and I feel like this was the perfect time to watch it. It's getting hot here in Texas. It's yeah, I feel like this is not a movie that you would want to watch in like fucking December. So thank you for assigning it right now when you did.
That's what I said when I signed it. I was like, hey, weather's changing. Be on the lookout for it. So
Hell yeah. If you feel it, chase it.
hell yeah. What a movie. What a guy. What an actor. Yeah, I can go next. I had Fruitvale Station, given to me by Josh. This movie was Ryan Coogler's directorial debut, coming out 2013, possibly. Pretty crazy for his directorial debut, having Michael B. Jordan starring in it. Obviously, this is, what, if it is 2013, yeah, roughly 12-ish years ago. So obviously, not quite the person he is, but also Octavia Spencer. Is it Spencer? Spence.
Mm-hmm.
Spencer.
Nope. Spencer.
She plays Michael B. Jordan's mom in this movie. So again, that's, I feel like, another pretty big get for an early movie. But basically, this movie starts out and you kind of see, like, it looks like, I want to say, I know the year. I want to say it's late 2000s. We're going to say 08. You see kind of like footage from what looks like some kind of like camcorder or even like a phone at that time, maybe, of like a train station, something happening. You can't really see people, like who's exactly in it, what's going on. You just kind of see cops. And then all of a sudden you hear like a gunshot go off. And then like the movie kind of starts and you see like Michael B. Jordan. And he's basically just a dad to a probably 5-year-old daughter. We're going to say she's a young, but still, she's a kid, but old enough to still like talk and interact and know what's going on kind of thing. And so him and his girlfriend have this daughter. And basically you kind of like learn throughout the movie that he went to jail. He was kind of in and out of jail quite frequently, mainly for selling drugs. And now he's kind of at a point where now that he has this, and eventually you learn there is a scene of his mom coming to the prison and visiting him and her being like, just, like, your daughter, we tell her that you go on vacations when you're in jail, because she was still like relatively young at the point where you could kind of tell her that. Like, we tell her you're going on vacations when you're like in these little jail stints for a couple weeks at a time. But this is the last time I'm doing this. Like, I'm not coming. Like, we're not bringing your daughter here. Obviously, she doesn't need to see the whole jail life. But I'm not coming back here again. Like, if you want to keep going down this road, like, that's on you. And so he kind of has like a big blow up, and you kind of get like pieces of that visit throughout the movie until you finally get to that bigger scene of her saying that, and kind of like, you're just going to leave me in here, mom? Like, what's wrong with you, kind of thing. But kind of throughout the movie, he's kind of just trying to get his life on pace. Like, he's trying to work like a normal job at a grocery store that he lost, and then he was trying to get it back. His, I want to say she is just girlfriend. I don't think she's his fiance. But his girlfriend, she also has like a regular job, and they're kind of just like struggling to get by. And there's like a scene where he has a pretty large sack of weed that he was like gonna go sell, and that's when you get the full kind of playback of him in jail with his mom. And then while he's waiting for the guy to come to like that he was selling the drugs to, he kind of just dumps them in the ocean and just kind of like looks out on the water. And you kind of see that this is a guy like just trying to like change. He wants to actually just work a normal job and like provide for his family and like actually, not follow down that path anymore. And then there's this really good scene of, it's his mom's birthday and they go to like a birthday party for her. And it's a very small thing. Like in the mom's house, there's like maybe 8 people in it. And it is just such a like beautiful like scene in terms of, it just feels so natural. Like, it genuinely feels like these people are having like a birthday party for someone. and there just happened to be a camera there. Like, it was just very natural and felt very like homey, and just like directing wise, like it did feel like it looked a little bit older in sense, like you could feel it was from like the late 2000s kind of. um and so I feel like maybe that was part of the nostalgic for, you know, us of our age to kind of like that, because we remember the days of having camcorders at, you know, kind of things. But yeah, it just felt like a very natural movie for the most part throughout it. And then it was New Year's Eve, and him and his, you know, his girlfriend's like, yo, I want to go out. And he was like, nah, I kind of just want to chill, like hang out with our daughter. And she's like, nah, I really want to go out to like go into more of the city and like kind of hang out with some friends. And he's like, okay, fine, we'll drop off our daughter at your sister's house and we'll go to the city. And his mom's like, oh, you guys should just like take the train. I don't want you drinking and driving. And he was like, I don't really do stuff anymore, Mom. Like, it's fine. And she's like, no, you guys should all just take the train. Just be safe. And so he's like, okay, fine. So him and his friends and girl, they take the train to the city. You know, it's like New Year's, midnight, whatever. Like, everything's chill. And then they get on the train to go home. And a guy that he kind of got in a little altercation with in the jail sees him while they're in the train car. And that guy like yells something at him and comes up and hits him. And so they get into a little kind of like punching, shoving match, break it up a little bit. And then the train stops and like cops show up and they're like, yo, like whoever was in this fight, like get out here. Like, we're talking to you. What's going on here? And then the cops are like, don't make us come in there. Thought it was a little weird. The cops went in and they were like grabbing people. They're like, you were definitely in the fight. And like, you can get it was kind of supposed to be part of like the racial profiling, but like it was a pretty diverse train car. Like, the cops only grabbed like 4 people, and it was Michael B. Jordan character and his like 3 friends that were part of the fight. So that part was a little bit like, okay, that part was like kind of weird. It's like, how did the cops know these exact 4 guys were the ones who were him and his like 3 friends that were part of it? Because they all try to like split up when they saw the cops. They're like, yo, some people get out of the train, just get off here. Like, we'll meet up later. Like, some of you stay in the cars. So, like, his girlfriend got off with like one of the other friends and kind of thing. They split up a little. So the cops had like Michael B. Jordan and 3 or 2 of his friends. And of course, the cop was just, it was actually the actor Kevin Doran, I want to say might be his last name. He played the lead bad Kingdom Planet of the Apes. He like voiced did the motion capture for that guy. I think it's like Kevin Doran or something like that, his name. But he was like the main cop kind of like running it. And he was just being like kind of aggressive with the guys and being like, yo, like, we're going to put handcuffs on you. And they're like, we didn't do anything. Like, what are you talking about? And he was just being like very, you know, physical with them, like pushing them on the ground, whatever. And then another cop like ends up like coming over and like getting aggressive and like flipping Michael B. Jordan over, like, we're gonna take you guys to jail. And they're all like, the fuck for? Like, we didn't do anything. And then the cop kind of gets on top of Michael B. Jordan, ends up taking out his gun and shooting him. And then like everyone's like, oh shit, what just happened? And then he ends up like, you see that he got shot kind of like in the back, kind of through his back a little bit, kind of out the front, and he's like bleeding a bunch. And they end up like taking him to the hospital, and like his girlfriend's like trying to call, like, yo, what's going on? Like, I just heard a gunshot. And then they see the stretcher come down with his body on it, and like his friends who are with the cops are like, yo, they shot him, like the cops shot him. So she calls the moms like, hey, you need to get to the hospital. He's in ICU, and eventually he ends up dying from the gunshot wound from the police. And then the movie ends and it goes into, this was based on a real thing that happened out in the Bay Area in San Francisco. This happened to, really awful of me to not know the name of the guy it happened to. That's tough. That's a tough look. That is a tough look. It's been a little bit since I watched the movie. That's a tough look.
You gotta have that in the notes.
Yeah, that definitely was one. Yeah, that's yikes.
You gotta cut that.
Oh, yeah, I might have to or something.
Yeah, I'll be honest.
Yeah, I'm just gonna have to take it on the shins for this one. I should have remembered. R.I.P. He died by the cops though. And then it shows like live footage of like the rallies and the things that happened out in the Bay Area during this time. So that's where you kind of realize that footage at the beginning was the actual footage from that night. It wasn't from the, like, they didn't shoot that. That was literally like the actual footage from somebody's phone from like the train car of what happened that night. So yeah, that was wild because I did not realize this was based on a true story. So like all of a sudden he dies and it's like, damn, what the hell? And then it just cuts to like live rallies and stuff. It's like, oh, I did not realize this was based on a true event. That's insane. So yeah, I mean, like I said, this was Ryan Coogler's directorial debut. It was definitely a very good debut in terms of, like I said, like there's a lot of scenes that just felt very natural and like homey, the feel of it. And obviously there's a lot of big name actors for your first time. I mean, I'm not going to sit here and say there's anything like spectacular in terms of like the writing was all very natural and everything like that, but I'm not going to say like there's nothing that stands out in terms of like the way it was shot, cinematography. But it was a really good movie. It was very short. I think it was like an hour 24 or something like that. It was a short movie. But yeah, it felt very natural, and yeah, I definitely enjoyed this movie a lot. Which kind of was known as soon as it was given to me that I was going to enjoy it. But I think I rated this movie like I think I gave it like an 8.2 out of 10. I want to say. Like I said, it was just it. I mean, I've said it several times, but it just felt very natural. Nothing felt forced in terms of the dialogue. It was just like that natural family chemistry when there was that kind of stuff talking. And so it wasn't like, cringy where you can tell whatever, which I just think is important for not a huge budget movie in terms of that. Obviously good actors, just not a big blockbuster movie. So I just thought it was very well done.
Look at that. Back-to-back 8s at least.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
Three-peat done.
Well, just like the Chiefs, the three-peat ain't happening. It got ruined. To so much so, I had to text the chat saying, guys, I think this was probably our highest hopes was these 3 movies of us having our probably best average. And just got ruined immediately because I saw it the day after. Enemy is what I got assigned. And this was a movie, once again, a common theme with the series. On my list, always wanted to watch it. Always thought it would be good. And some reason just haven't got to it. But it pulled a 2001 Space Odyssey on me. And did not land. And I, for the whole movie, was wondering, what the hell am I watching? It makes me wonder, too, if Jake Gyllenhaal can actually act as well. There was some moments. I'm just like, has this guy just been kind of in the right place at the right time? And we've kind of just considered him a decent actor. But it was rough. He plays this guy named Adam. So it's Adam and Anthony is, I believe, the other guy. He plays both. Jake Gyllenhaal does. They look identical. So there's 2 guys who's playing identical. But it starts off the movie basically introducing Adam. You can instantly tell this guy is depressed as fuck. And you think, okay, maybe he's going to probably kill himself in this film. It just immediately hits you with the tones of this guy. His life sucks, but he constantly keeps bringing this one chick over and they keep having sex. And that's the vibes of the movie going on right off the bat. Then randomly, some coworker, because he's a teacher, he's a professor, was like, hey, yo, you like movies? And then that's where I got some hope in this film, because like I like movies. So like, what's Adam going to say? It's like this coworker's kind of chill. It was just was like, you like movies? It was awkwardly quiet. He just asked that. And so Adam gives an awkward response and was like, yeah, I guess. But I don't really have the time. You have a suggestion. And so this guy suggests it. And he goes out, rents the movie. And it's some like random ass film. It's like some just like indie type like film of just locally made. And while he's watching it, it's kind of just normal. He falls asleep late watching it. He plays it on a laptop through the DVD CD tray. So that you're also kind of wondering when was this like movie timeline wise, but that ended up just not mattering. I guess it just was an aesthetic choice. Maybe the budget constraints. Anyways, he falls asleep and he randomly wakes up to a nightmare of he sees himself in the movie. And like, oh, that's weird. And then he replays the movie and he sees himself in the movie. And so he wasn't just tripping. It wasn't a dream. He sees himself. And he plays, I don't know what the title of it is, but like the guy that helps your luggage when you go into a hotel.
Concierge?
Yeah, that. And so then he starts going down this rabbit hole trying to find out who this actor is because it looks exactly like somebody. He plays it over and over again. And he ends up kind of becoming like almost a stalker of who this guy is. finds out that he is a real person, finds him on Google, finds out he's done other places, so he's real and he's not tripping out. And this guy is exactly the same face of him, same beard, everything's the same look. And like, okay. And I realized I've seen this movie a while ago. I've already forgot one key part of this film. It starts off with like a random like Fight Club like scene almost. Like a bunch of guys are kind of just sitting in a corner and they're like drinking, a fight's kind of going on, and then this random lady lets a spider go in the room, and then that's all you see, and then it goes into what I've just been saying. Why is that important? It will be important, I guess. Anyways, he finds this motherfucker finally. He kind of starts like trying to call him, ends up finding out that this dude sounds exactly like him too. He calls him and he hears his voice, and their voices even sound alike, but he's too much of a geeky little dork that he can't actually like talk properly to Anthony. And Anthony hangs it up. Boom. Long story short, they finally meet each other. Okay, these two finally meet. And then they end up finding out that they have the same scar even, because they go in like a hotel room to meet each other because obviously it's sketchy. And Anthony thinks he just has some crazy fan, but he also kind of just thinks it's really cool that he has a fan because he's just all about himself. He's a major narcissist and just loves the fact that anybody even noticed his little indie work that he's done. So they meet up in a hotel and they're like, I have a scar. Do you have a scar? And they both have a scar. So now you're kind of wondering, these motherfuckers, like if the twin theory is kind of out of the window, are they the same person? And that's the theme of the film, is trying to figure out basically, are these people the same person? Are they brothers, long lost twins? You don't really get that answered. There'll be like scenes where the Anthony guy doesn't talk to his mom, but Adam has scenes with mom, and the mom will say, oh, you used to always always wanted to be in a movie. You always want to be an actor. She'll make comments like that. And you're thinking, okay, is this guy like having a breakdown? But the big point is one guy has a wife and other guy has a girlfriend, and they're two different people. And one has a ring on, obviously, Anthony does, and it has an imprint on it. So they are different. And you never see that imprint on Adam's, and you finally get that revealed. So, of course, naturally, that leads to Adam having sex with the other guy's wife. She's pregnant, by the way, so they have pregnant sex. It was a very weird scene. It was A24, so that was the scene right there. Pregnant sex happened. Was not expecting it at all, but go Adam, I guess. You know, he was kind of starting to become a dog. Anthony was a dickhead, and the reason why they end up having sex is because Anthony, the actor guy, some reason he he calls Adam after they have their little hotel meeting, and he was like, be man to man to me. Have you fucked my wife? So out of nowhere. Makes no sense why he asked this question, and this starts the confrontation. And then Anthony was like, well, since you fucked my wife, which just didn't happen, he's like, I'm going to go fuck your girlfriend, which is that girl that Adam's been fucking at the beginning of the film. Yeah. So he ends up actually taking a further step, and he goes and has a vacation with this girlfriend and has sex with her on the vacation. Yeah. And then Adam, a little weirder than he is, he's like, well, I guess since like I didn't actually fuck her, but he thinks I did, I'm going to go to and break into his house, and I'm going to pretend like I'm Anthony for a day. And then the wife comes home, pregnant wife, and he sleeps in their bed, and he just pretends to be Anthony. And yeah, so I want to know how the movie ends is during that little stay, he turns the closet while he's kind of pretending to be this guy. While this is all happening during the vacation, the twin, not twin movie star, he dies in a car crash. Him and the girlfriend die. So then Adam gets full reins to kind of pretend to be this new husband and actor with this pregnant wife. And has a scene when they finally wake up in the morning. He turns around to the closet to go greet her, and she turns into a big tarantula. And then the movie ends. Yeah. So I went into this movie thinking it was like a sci-fi film of some sort because it has, in the clips I've seen of it, it shows like this big, massive spider kind of monster going over the city and overall vibes. It has like a hue tint to the entire film too. No, it was just like a film that you got to wonder, what was the theme? What was the point? Um, why did the spider matter? What was the first scene really truly about? Nobody knows. And you don't get a confirmed answer of how these two existed, how they split. And it just lets you guess on all of those. Yeah. So that was the movie. I gave it a 4.6 out of 10. It at least visually looked nice. Visually looked nice. The actresses that played like the girlfriend and the wife, they were pretty good. Jake Gyllenhaal, like I said, a little rough. I don't know if it's just because like when he acts like a dork, like a little nerd character in movies I've seen him in, he's not good at it. But yeah, so yeah, that was the film.
Not what I thought it was about when I saw the poster for it. And I saw
Did anybody guess?
No.
Yeah.
I saw it was Denis though, so I was like, listen, he's on a hot streak.
Yeah, I actually like even looked up to try to see what Denis was trying to cook up. Like what was the point? Somehow, it basically was just being like about your lack of control over your body and who you are, and like, oh, don't let the government control you. While at the same time, he's having like a psychological breakdown, but yet it confirms they are two different people. So this isn't Fight Club, it isn't the same person. It is two different people. Yeah. And then like the spider thing, she doesn't actually turn into a spider, but it's supposed to like represent that like the wife is also losing her mind because she kind of like learns, I guess, that he is not actually her husband, but she's okay with it. Yeah. Yeah, it was a miss, It's kind of like Space Odyssey of just a bunch of storylines going on in one kind of shorter film. That just didn't work.
Well, that's quite unfortunate.
I don't blame
really
you.
tried. I really tried. I saw it was Denis. I was like,
this is early A24, This was 2014 A24, so this is just one of their misses.
That's all they make. Come on now.
Do you know if this was one of his first movies, Denis?
I know it's for sure one of his first, but for his being actual first, I'm actually not too sure.
Because then I feel like after that is when he did Sicario.
Yeah, I think that was 2016.
2016, yeah. I think that's when like his was 2018, 2019.
Oh, was it 18?
Somewhere in that range, 18 or 19, I feel like.
Yeah, that sounds right.
No, he's done a few films before, but also you got to keep in mind when he was making this same time, I guess he was also doing Prisoners too, because that was 2013, and this was 2013 as well. So,
whoa.
Yeah, it was kind of just weird. It didn't feel like it was directed by him at all. Like none of his like kind of
him and Jake Gyllenhaal put out 2 movies in the same year.
Prisoners is good though.
Yeah.
Was this kind of just like a?
Yeah, it's very
weird. Was an hour 30
put out
film.
The same. Strange.
Yeah, and that's why I think you kind of can feel it. Like it didn't feel like it was much
its own movie and its own like identity. Like in all aspects. Okay,
this just feels like it was some scrambled idea on a paper, and they're like, "Oh shit, I guess they greenlit it, so let's do it." And it didn't feel like there was much passion in it, and it just happened.
Well, that's unfortunate.
Yeah. It's
so
what
close.
It is.
So close having at least all 8s.
Every director has a miss, and we found the one.
Well, I guess it's time for assigning new movies for Volume 7. Josh, since you were the last one, you get to assign me now.
I do. And, I've been kind of thinking of what I could do for you. There's an option. I know that, I just watched this movie. I got it confirmed already that Blake's already seen it. I think I should be nice. You know, you were trying to be nice with me with the enemy. You're trying to. That's not your fault. I forgive you.
Thank you.
And I'm going to give you the movie Wind River.
It sounds familiar, but I don't think I've watched it.
That's kind of the identity of this film, but it's good. It's really good.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Yeah. I feel like everyone kind of is like, I vaguely have heard about this, but it doesn't really sound like anyone's watched it till like recently.
Is that the Jeremy Renner movie?
Yeah, Jeremy
is that
Renner's
something else?
in it, and Elizabeth Olsen is also in it.
Oh, okay. I've just seen like the poster and shit, but I've never seen the movie before. Okay. Was that like 2015, 2016? Maybe
It's
2017.
actually 2017, I believe.
17.
Somehow.
That's wild.
Snuck that in between Avengers films, huh? Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. 2017.
Yeah, because like Age of Ultron.
That's what I'm saying.
was
That's the
15.
identity of this film is it is known, but like somehow just went under everybody's radar to actually watch it.
Okay. All right. Okay. Blake, please tell me that you've not seen this movie. I'm gonna assign you American Gangster. Denzel stars in it. Some other actors: Russell Crowe, Josh Brolin, Cuba Gooding Jr., Idris Elba.
No.
All right. American Gangster it is.
Maybe that's just why it sounds familiar, because it has all those people. Yeah, no, I haven't seen it.
That
Josh, man, this is tough.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? It's tough. It's tough.
How's it tough? How's it tough?
Because there's some ideas out there.
Is there?
There are. And I don't want them to come back on me. You know what I mean?
Oh,
If
come on.
I don't use them. You know what I mean?
What?
They're good. You know what I mean?
What are we talking about here? I gave you a good
Shit.
movie.
Yeah.
Why am I the victim?
You're not. You're not. I guess you won't be the victim. I'm gonna take the cop out choice here. I'm gonna give you. Have you seen Heat?
Heat? No, I have not.
Yeah. Gonna give you
I
Heat.
do know of it.
Yeah.
I was just I clicked on that literally last week, and then I was like, "Damn, that's a long movie." And I didn't watch
It is a bit lengthy.
I almost saw it.
It's a bit lengthy, but yeah, I'll give you Heat.
How long is it?
It's like
3.
almost 3 hours.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's right at 3, pretty much.
I literally, it was 9 o'clock. I was like, I could watch a 2-hour movie. I was like, I really want to watch this, and I was like, 3 hours.
Yeah.
Woo.
It's a bit lengthy, so there's a little drag-ons, but it's good.
2 hours and 50 minutes. That's crazy. Okay. Oh, Michael Mann directed this. Okay. All right. Well, those are the films for Volume 7. We'll meet back again in approximately a month, give or take a few weeks.
We're gonna space this one out about 4 months to see how lost Alex gets in that one.
Oh, no,
Don't
please.
lose them.
That's gonna do it for this episode of Cinema Tasks. As always, let us know down in the comments below if you've seen either any of the movies we reviewed or if the any ones we're about to watch. As always, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and we'll see you guys in the next one.